This is KGW News at 11.
We start with breaking news out of southeast Portland. Police say 2 people are dead after gunshots were heard in a home near southeast 138th and Clatsop Street earlier this evening. Officers had neighbors shelter in place while they moved in and sent in a robot into the home. A woman was found dead inside and a man was found injured. He died at the hospital. Police say there's no longer a risk to the public and neighbors can now leave their homes.
We just want to reiterate to the neighbors, we know we put out a shelter in place for a large area out here, and we appreciate those who stayed inside. Obviously, we had some concerns with what was going on, and it was a rapidly evolving situation.
Police say a gunshot did hit another home, but no one was hurt. They're still investigating what led up to this and the relationship between the man and the woman who died. Now to a heartbreaking update in the search for a missing 20-year-old woman. Washington County Sheriff's deputies believe they've found the remains of Allison Watterson. She was reported missing near North Plains 6 months ago, and now investigators are focused in on figuring out what led to her disappearance.
Sunday, sheriff's deputies returned to the location where the remains were found. A property owner discovered the body on Northwest Corey Road in rural Washington County. It's close to where Allison Watterson was last seen in December, and investigators believe it's her based on the location and evidence they found.
We're very fortunate that she was found. It could have been years had the property owner not been clearing brush in that particular area.
Allison was reported missing 6 months ago. Her family last saw her December 20th. December 22nd, a homeowner north of North Plains reported seeing her with her boyfriend, Benjamin Hunter Garland. The next day, December 23rd, a homeowner found Garland alone in the back seat of their truck. Later that day, it was Garland's father who reported Allison as missing, saying that he believed she and Garland had been hiking. On that same evening, December 23rd, Garland was taken into custody on unrelated charges and warrants and in connection with the stolen truck. He pleaded guilty to those charges and was sentenced to 3 years in prison in April.
You know, you feel for the family and just the whole situation.
Allison's mother, Misty, told KGW the family is asking for time to process their grief. Allison's uncle, Trevor Macy, also released a statement thanking people for their support. He went on to say, "We are broken for the moment, and there is a space that can never be filled in our lives, but she lives on in our hearts. Allison Joy Watterson, I love you." Searchers are combing the area, looking for evidence that will help in the investigation, looking for clues to find out what happened to Allison.
Allison's disappearance shook the small community of North Plains. Friends, family, and complete strangers joined in the search for days and weeks after she went missing. April Hamilton and her daughter Emily were 2 of the dozens of volunteers who showed up Christmas Day to search for her. They say they've grown close to the Watterson family and continued to look for Allison long after police suspended their search. Like many in their community, they're heartbroken.
We all kind of felt numb because we wanted answers, but we obviously didn't want this answer.
Nobody should forget Allison ever. Even, years from now, people still need to remember her.
The Washington County Medical Examiner's Office is still working to officially identify Allison's remains. The investigation is ongoing. The warm weather draws a lot of people to the water, but it can also be dangerous. This weekend, we saw 2 drownings in our area. The most recent happened yesterday in Marion County. Officials say 4 friends jumped into the river from a rock ledge at Salmon Falls County Park. Thomas Blazak went under and did not resurface. The water temperature at the time was in the 40s. His body was later found by the Clackamas County Sheriff's dive team. And on Friday afternoon, 3 women were in the Clackamas River near Barton Park. People on shore could see the women in trouble. 68-year-old Leanna Middleton was face down in the water when a Good Samaritan went out to help her. Rescue crews got them to shore but were unable to save Middleton. With the weather heating up, the heavy flow of water, and the cold temperature, people are advised to use extreme caution when swimming. Now to the latest on coronavirus cases here in Oregon. Multnomah County reported a record high number of cases today. Before we get to that, first, let's take a look at the state total. Oregon saw 190 new cases today and 1 new death. The state has reported at least 100 daily new cases for 13 of the past 15 days. The new cases in Multnomah County make up 45% of the state's total today. The county reported 84 new cases, and that's much higher than we've seen before. Health officials say increased cases are expected now that the entire state is starting to reopen. On Friday, Multnomah County became the last county in Oregon to move to phase 1. And we want to remind you that starting Wednesday, face masks will be required in indoor public spaces in 7 Oregon counties. Those are Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas, Marion, Polk, Hood River, and Lincoln counties. The governor says any other county can also opt into these requirements. Businesses will be able to refuse service to anyone not wearing a mask. The requirements differ for counties in phase 1 and phase 2, so go to kgw.com for a full list of places where you will need to wear that mask. And with more and more Portland restaurants and brew pubs opening back up, they need more room to keep customers 6 feet apart. So the Portland Bureau of Transportation launched the Safe Streets Initiative and the Healthy Business Permit. It helps businesses use more public space on sidewalks and streets to be able to serve customers safely. Many spots along Mississippi Avenue have taken advantage, like Stormbreaker Brewery. Customers are happy to be back supporting their favorite local businesses with room for social distancing.
I think it's great. I think it's going to bring more people out and about, and I think it's going to bring more money back into the economy and back to restaurants and businesses that are struggling.
The permits are free and good through the beginning of November. As the fight for equality continues on our streets, students in the Tualatin School District are pushing for change in their own classrooms. Christelle Kumwe spoke to teens who played a key role in bringing a new resolution to the district that condemns racism.
Portland has seen some of the biggest marches and protests against systemic racism, but the issue goes beyond city limits.
We pretend like racism isn't happening and we're tucked away in our cozy little suburb.
Students in the Tualatin district wanted to join the call for change.
We got together and we were like, let's plan a march. Let's plan a march right through those cozy suburbs. And let's make these people feel uncomfortable and let them know that this issue is affecting their communities.
Abdi Mohamud is president of Tigard High School's Black Student Union, and Kavish Shretha is the co-president of the Tualatin Student Union. The June 11th march had over 300 students, teachers, and neighbors. They covered the 4.4 miles from Tualatin High to rival Tigard High, united by a message.
To bring people together to say there's racism and there's discrimination happening within TTSD.
The Tualatin School District. Students say ongoing racism, bias, and hate plays out in their schools. Abdi is now a senior, but says he's been dealing with hate speech since freshman year.
I remember, oftentimes I would go to people to talk about it, and the people that I would go to, a situation would happen, they wouldn't know how to handle it.
After years of expressing concerns with no action, students took matters into their own hands.
And with everything going on nationwide, we're like, frankly, enough is enough.
Students started a petition for a hate speech policy, a diverse curriculum, and a commitment for the district to be anti-racist. Inspired by the petition, board member Ben Bowman helped the students write and present a resolution during a June 8th board work session. The board approved the resolution condemning racism 4-1.
It was a little harder to sell than we would have liked, but
yeah.
I mean, you would think it's 2020, committing to adopt a hate speech policy and becoming anti-racist wouldn't be controversial.
Our job as students is to learn, and as a district, they're supposed to provide that safe environment for me. And it's really frustrating that I had to go, I had to put so much effort into something saying that I'm anti-racist, when the district is supposed to provide that safety net for me.
The students are hopeful this first step by the board can bring some change.
This is such a problem in our schools that we're ready to do whatever it takes to finally implement something that will improve the district for my sister coming up in the school district and for the future generation of students.
Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.